Hi guys, sorry, I'm still looking pretty rough. I just woke up, and when I woke up, the 700 Club was on, and I don't watch the 700 Club. It's just not my bag. But I do listen to a lot of talk radio, and like one of the biggest, hottest topics is, healthcare and ObamaCare, or whatever they're calling it, whatever the conservatives are calling it. But I don't claim to know a lot about politics. In fact, I don't really know anything about politics. So I'm not gonna, if people who disagree with me, don't leave comments trying to debate politics with me, because I don't know about them, and I'm not gonna debate something that I just don't know about. I might be bullheaded, but I'm not that bullheaded, But the one thing that I'm hearing over and over and over again in reference to this Obamacare is like death counseling, right? Everybody's like getting their panties in a wad about this death counseling. And personally, I don't see such a big deal with it. A lot of people think that I'm liberal, although I do not label myself politically, because my ideas are all over the fucking plate. I'm very, very conservative on a lot of issues, and very liberal on a lot of issues. And actually, I'm probably more conservative politically than I am liberal. But there are certain things, like I said, that, I just really cannot be labeled. I do not fit into, I don't fit on one side of the political spectrum. I fit all over it. But anyways, back to this death counseling. This is the one thing that everybody's talking about, and everybody seems to be pretty against it. Or at least, the conservatives seem to be very against death counseling. And I know that conservatives are also highly influenced by their religion, which is Christianity, or majority. But I don't know what the problem with this death counseling is. I think is in our Western world, and I don't know if this is a product of Christianity, or I don't know, but I do think that Christianity instills this fear of death into people. People are afraid of death. And it is so important that people need to understand that without death, there would not be life. Life and death absolutely go hand in hand. Death is a part of life, the most significant part of life, next to birth. And just like every situation that arises in life, situations have to be dealt with. They have to be thought out. They have to be prepared for. And I certainly believe that death counseling is a positive thing. Let's see, hold on just one second. Okay, anyway, I certainly think that death counseling is a positive thing. For someone, people are forgetting that I think a majority of people who die know that they are dying, and they are living dying. Many people who have terminal illnesses, they're living every day dying. And as human beings, we have totally gotten so far from the healing properties and the healing power of human companionship and human touch and human love. So someone who is going through this very tough time in their life, they certainly need that love and that touch, and they certainly need to be counseled, and they certainly need to just have help. And a lot of times, because death is so taboo in our culture and our society, there is no place to turn for someone who is dying and who is scared. In a lot of Eastern cultures, life is looked upon as lived in segments. The first segment is your birth segment, or the birth part. You live as an infant and things like that. The second part is your childhood, your teenage years, and you experience the joy of and the innocence of being a child, and then you enter the adult phase and you deal with the perils and the things that come with adulthood, marriage, childbearing, things like that. Then you enter the death phase, where you and your loved ones prepare positively for your death, and it is celebrated, it is prepared, and it is welcomed, because it is inevitable. You just can't stave off death, and I think we should adopt that attitude in this country and in this society, that death is a positive thing. It is the freeing of the soul, the freeing of the human spirit, the ceasing of the human spirit being bound, by the physical. And this is, to me, this is a cause for celebration. I don't want to be bound by this physical clay, this flesh, my whole life, and I certainly think I will do more when I'm not bound by this physicality, and I'm not bound by the human things that keep me, tied down every day. But death counseling, I'm sorry, I don't see it as a bad thing. When I get old, if I get old, I enter the phase where my life is ending, and I'm living every day knowing that these are my last days. Yeah, I want to be counseled. I want to have that. What is your issue, Charlie? I want to have that. And I just don't see what's wrong with it. So I'd like to hear you guys' opinions. I'm running out of time here, so I just think that culturally and socially we should adopt a new attitude towards death, and it should be a much more positive one, and I believe death should be a lot less taboo. And it should be prepared for, welcomed, and celebrated, because it is just another era of someone's life. It's not the person ceasing to exist anymore. It's the person going from one form of existence to another. And I certainly believe that is cause for celebration. But it's more, even if you disagree and say it shouldn't be celebrated, it should definitely be prepared for. So I want to hear anybody's opinions, anybody who watches this. Let me know your opinions on the whole death counseling thing.